This episode of RAW-tism is about applied behavior analysis, or ABA, services. Specifically, why having ABA support both at home and at school is so important for autistic kids, and why separating those supports often does more harm than good. This episode is not about defending bad practices. It's not about pretending ABA has a perfect history. It doesn't have a perfect history, and we'll be discussing that later this season. Not the next episode, but the episode after that. And it's definitely not about turning kids into robots. We will do what you say. Do listen to the teachers. Calm down. This is about ethical, child-centered behavioral intervention and what happens when support actually follows a child through their real life. The truth behind behavior. Behavior does not exist in a vacuum. Child's behavior changes based on the environment, sensory input, expectation, fatigue, safety, and the people around them. If someone says they're fine at school but awful at home, or vice versa, they behave at school but not in class, that doesn't mean the child is choosing chaos. Choosing chaos. I like it. I wrote this. Why am I acting like I don't know what this says? It means the environment is asking different things from them. ABA is about understanding why a behavior happens and teaching skills the child doesn't have yet. It's also about reducing behaviors that are unsafe, harmful, or distressing to the child and replacing those behaviors with communication, regulation, and coping skills. Not only unsafe for the child, but unsafe for those around the child if they get aggressive. Behavior is communication. A child throwing a chair could mean they are frustrated, overwhelmed, or hurting. Something is going wrong and they do not have the tools to explain what, why, how, or who. ABA gives us a way to listen without waiting for that disaster to happen. Disasters are going to happen during ABA sessions, and we use those to help teach things, but we are not sitting there waiting for disasters to happen. If they do happen, I'd rather have them during the session when I'm there than in a different place, because at least I'm trained to help adjust the behavior, and I can see what the behavior is, and I can notice the signs that it's coming up and try to stop it. And that's all great, but that's just science-y stuff. The child isn't science. They are a person. So the goal is to be able to work on reducing the behaviors. If the kid throws a chair when he's angry, he might have to stand at his desk for a bit, and then he gets his chair back a bit at a time. If he doesn't throw it, he gets it a little longer. Or whatever is triggering him, we work in a way to either get him used to it or get it away from him. If it's something that he would have to be around, like if it's just the lights in every room, you might have dimmers and help him get used to each light. But if it's the type of music a teacher plays, you can change that. You need light to see, but you don't need the specific music if it's aggravating a student with disabilities. Hope that makes sense. School is a sensory hurricane. At least it was for me. Fluorescent lights, constant noise, squeaks of shoes in crowded hallways, and social rules that change seemingly for no reason. But somehow, all the other students know how they are expected to act. Magically. Everyone else got the rule book. And while there are actual rule books, I'm talking about the unwritten rules that my peers always just seemed to know, and I didn't. And all of this while having to mask sensory pain and somehow function just as well as your peers. Imagine having to deal with all this overwhelming, oh, you need to study? Okay, we're gonna put your desk right in a concert. No ear protection, nothing. You're just gonna sit in a concert and you have to do the test. That's not gonna work. That's not an environment that will work for that. That example might be exaggerating a little. But for some kids, that's how it feels. Especially like the vibrations and, oh my god, why are my glasses bothering me today? ABA in school helps kids learn routines in a way that feels safe. Ask for breaks instead of fleeing or melting down. Transition between activities without panic. Tolerate frustrations without self-injurious behaviors or aggression towards others. And communicate needs before they explode. This isn't about discipline. It's about access. A dysregulated child cannot learn. Period. Full stop. No cap. Anything else people say these days? I'm too old now. All the things. Just done? Nope. Nothing else. Nothing but the truth now. Nothing but the proof. A dysregulated child can not learn. Let me say it again for the people in the back. A dysregulated child can not learn. They can't. End of story. That's it. A little riled up. Okay. Let's say a student screams and runs out of the class every time math starts. Without ABA, the response might be loss of recess, being sent to the office, or labeling them as troublemakers. With ABA, we ask, does math feel too hard for them? Is the room too loud for them to focus? Are they processing the instructions well? Okay, I had to be bought. I had to flip my dinner. I'm making fish and french fries, so basically like fish and chips. I have to flip it in the oven so it's evenly. We can then teach them to ask for help, request a break using visual supports, and gradually increasing tolerance. Now, the behavior starts to change. Not because the child was pushed into it, but because the child was supported while they improve. If you're forced to sit in a seat, but you're not in a place where sitting in a seat is doable for you, it's either not going to work out, you're not going to be sitting in that seat, or you're going to do it, but you're going to be shut down. You're not going to be able to do anything else because that is so much mental energy. Instead, you can go to the seat for a couple minutes and build up your time, or even if it's like the fear of the chair itself, you get a little closer each time, a little closer, going at your pace, and then eventually you can sit down and start that. There are ways for every behavior to be improved. The only problem is that we're all humans, and all BCBAs, the ones who make the behavior plans, are humans, and the kids who do the behaviors are humans. So people make mistakes, and people do things wrong, and people change their minds, but in the end, 9 times out of 10, ABA, when done correctly, can really help improve behaviors. And then there's home. That was school, here's home. Home is another story. Home is where the heart is. Home is where your family, pets, and maybe friends live with you. For autistics and other neurodivergents, home is where the mask comes off. Woo! Unfortunately, some have a home where they can't take their masks down, which makes life a whole lot harder. I live with my husband now, and being home, I can have my mask off completely. I don't feel the need to mask at all. But growing up, I didn't know I had autism. I didn't know what the masking was, so I was forced to mask even at home, because otherwise I was misbehaving. So that's another part of the therapy, is understanding how to let your mask down without doing negative behaviors toward those around you. But to this, school takes everything out of an autistic child. So when they get home, you might see explosive meltdowns. Yep, I've done that. Refusal to do basic tasks. Yep, that too. Aggression? Actually, I don't know if I've ever gotten aggressive. And shutdowns. I've done that too. That's not regression. They're not going back to the ways of their toddler teenager years. They're not acting like a baby. They're not acting like a toddler. They're not acting younger than their age. Like, saying act your age that's not the issue here. It's burnout. It's a reaction to burnout. ABA at home helps with regulation. What? Okay. ABA at home helps with emotional regulation after long days. Teaching living skills step by step. Communication with family and reducing unsafe behaviors in a safe space. It also helps caregivers learn what behaviors actually mean, how to respond without escalating, and how to stay consistent even when exhausted. ABA supports the whole system, not just the kid. ABA at home helps with emotional regulation after long days. Teaching living skills. Oh, I just read this. Hold on. A child hits when asked to brush their teeth. Without support, the cycle might be parent gets frustrated, child gets punished, behavior escalates. Parent gets frustrated, child gets punished, behavior escalates. Oh, round and round we go. With ABA, we ask, is the toothbrush too stimulating? I have to brush with a baby toothbrush. I can't use adult toothbrushes or, definitely can't use electric toothbrushes. It's too much. And I just won't brush my teeth anymore. So the baby toothbrush is the way to go. Is the routine unclear? Do they not know how to get through these steps on their own? It might seem perfectly simple to you that you could just be like, oh, go brush your teeth. But they need to know, okay, we're going to go to the bathroom. We're going to take out the toothbrush and the toothpaste. We're going to squeeze the toothpaste on the toothbrush. And then some people wet it before they brush, other people don't. And then we're going to do this in our mouth. We're going to make these shapes. We're going to do this, that, do it. All these little steps. And all we say is, go brush your teeth. It's a lot more complicated than it sounds. And is the demand too sudden? Are they playing a game with no warnings of bedtime coming up and just out of nowhere, okay, we're done with this game, go brush your teeth? That's not gonna work out pretty well, especially if the game was a preferred activity. Then we teach visual schedules, choice making, gradual exposure, and reinforcement for attempts. Now, brushing teeth becomes possible. Not perfect, but possible. I brush my teeth just fine and I take care of my teeth. I don't do as well as most adults who can handle electric toothbrushes and stuff, but I do my best and I just have to go to the dentist a little more, which is okay. I found a dentist that is really great with keeping the vibrations to a minimum. And she's just awesome at keeping all my sensory stuff better. It's awesome. 2 settings are better than 1. Generalization is being able to use skills learned somewhere else or with someone else in a new situation without needing to be retaught. If a child learns to say, water please, at the kitchen table with their mom, then generalization would lead to them also being able to say it at school, to their teacher, at a restaurant, or at a friend's house. If they can only say it at the kitchen table with mom, the skill hasn't generalized yet. They learn the script, but they haven't learned the concept. This is right there. Skills don't automatically generalize. Just because a child can ask for help at school doesn't mean they can do it at home. Following routines at home doesn't mean they can do it in class. ABA across multiple environments helps generalize skills, maintain progress, reduce confusion, and increase confidence. Consistency is regulation. Hold on. This is where ethics matter. Ethical ABA respects autonomy, honors consent, allows stimming, and centers safety and dignity. If a program prioritizes quiet compliance over well-being, eye contact over comfort, and obedience over communication, that's not ABA done right. That's control. Without ABA in schools and homes, kids get punished for unmet needs. Families burn out, school escalate discipline, and behaviors worsen instead of improve. After all that, the child learns one lesson. I am the problem. Me? Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. When that song came out, I related so hard because that's how I felt like my entire childhood. I'm the problem. Which is 10 million% not true. The disabled person is not at fault for being disabled. ABA isn't supposed to go on forever. Oh, I have so many typos. Okay, stop. ABA isn't supposed to go on forever. The real goal is to support kids now so later they can advocate, regulate, and live with fewer barriers independently. The goal isn't perfection or neurotypical behaviors. It's access, safety, and quality of life. ABA services at school and home aren't about managing children. They're about managing environments so children don't have to carry everything alone. When support is consistent, ethical, and compassionate, autistic kids don't just survive, they grow. Okay. before I lose my ever-loving mind. Okay, one lesson, go on forever, not one, and then consent. Okay. Thanks for spending this time with me on RAW-tism and being willing to learn more about the importance of applied behavior analysis, both in schools and at home. Never forget, needing support doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Next week, actually, yeah, that's what's next. I'm an idiot. It's fine. Next week on RAW-tism, we dive deeper into the need for generalization by focusing on the importance of ABA in schools and teaching school staff about why and how it works.